no se ve por la oscuridad, por la poca luz, pero aquí están unos banquitos. Nos mandaron a sentarnos. Que va a haber un show, dice.
Here on this site, an explorer stood more than 200 years ago. Stood, then kneeled for the play Peer Gynt, which followed the adventures of a character some call foolish. The discovery of Cumberland Caverns involves some adventurers as well, who some considered foolhardy. While it was easy for you to get here today, a stroll almost, those who came before you didn't have it quite so easy. Thankfully, our early explorers did not give up on hope or give in to despair. Instead, they continued to push the limits of their bodies and minds to explore the unknown depths of our limestone mountain, so generations of visitors could appreciate this breathtaking sight. Aaron Higginbotham was a surveyor who was traveling through the woods to find the best path for a road he was building. As he was plotting the course, he felt a cold blast of air coming from a rock. He had found the entrance to a cave. His curiosity got the best of him, and he decided to venture in. Even though he had left his wife Lizzie at home, and unbeknownst to Aaron, she was carrying his unborn child.
This new cave I found seems endless. I love my wife, as any good husband would, but I couldn't keep away. The mystery of where these passages lead, what could be discovered?
With only a fragile torch, he ventured into the cave, alone.
It's so very quiet. All I can hear is my heart and my breath that echoes from the rocks. Water drips. I press on. Suddenly,
Squeak.
fluttering sound. Something brushes against my face. I bring back. My head strikes a rock just inches above me. I scream for help. But who can hear my cries underneath the earth? On a high ledge, I try to steady myself, but the torch slips from my hand and plummets into the abyss below. I'm enveloped by darkness.
Time ticked by. Aaron was alone in the cave, wondering if he would ever see his wife and home again. Shivering with fear, his eyes straining to see light that was not there. He was finally found 3 days later by friends who knew where he had been working. Still, harrowing as his experience had been, a new discovery had come to light. Higginbotham Cave. In 1917, a scientist was hired to test cave dirt across Tennessee for nitrates. At the nearby Henshaw Cave, he found the remains of a saltpeter mining process. It was likely used to create gunpowder and explosives for the War of 1812 and the Civil War. Soil from the cave was added to the leaching vats, where water was piped from the waterfall using log pipes. Saltpeter was made from combining the nitrates in the cave soil with ash or potassium. It was a lengthy process that took 8 days and only yielded enough saltpeter to fire a single cannon twice. Still, backbreaking work was the only technology of the time. So the tedious mining of dirt from the Henshaw Cave continued to support our country's wars. It was 1953. While the Henshaw and Higginbotham caves had been discovered a century before, the trip to visit the big rooms was one of adrenaline and determination for those who were brave enough to undertake it. On Easter weekend, Tom Barr, a well-known caver and author, arrived to survey Henshaw. He brought with him 2 cavers, Tank Gorin and Dale Smith. The passage connecting Henshaw and Higginbotham was narrow, only 9 inches by 15 inches, and lined with sharp, jagged rocks and cave coral. Tom was too big to make it through, but Tank and Dale pressed forward.
I figured I would find myself in an inky abyss, lost forever to the underworld, if my lamp failed before I found my way out. I had no choice but to move further as the sharp edges of caved popcorn tore into my clothing and skin, forcing my hand with choice. Moving forward into the unknown was the only option.
When Dale and Tank emerged on the other side, they looked like they had gone through a meat grinder, which is how the passage got its name. But their perseverance resulted in Higginbotham and Henshaw becoming one: Cumberland Caverns. Over the years, the narrow passage was enlarged so visitors could easily pass through. What once took Dale and Tank 3.5 hours now only takes 60 seconds. While our early explorers and daring cavers got us to where we are today, our story isn't over yet. 27 miles of passage have been mapped and explored so far, but we have yet to investigate every dark corner. In the far reaches of our cave, dedicated and experienced explorers continue to push the limits to see how far Cumberland Caverns really goes, to uncover its magic and majesty. You are now part of this adventure. What will you discover in the depths of Cumberland Caverns? More important, what will you discover about yourself?
Mm-hmm.